r/AskReddit. What shouldn't exist, but does? Child beauty pageants. Frank Reynolds' Little Beauties. We do not diddle kids. It's no good diddling kids. That little voice on the back of your head that tells you to jump when you stand on the edge of a cliff. Like, why brain? Me standing next to boiling oil. My brain. Dump it on your feet. When I'm holding a needle. Brain. Put an eye, knee. No. Brain. Put an eye, knee. No. Bedbugs. These creatures, really the worst. So cool story about bedbugs and people. That goes way back to caveman days. Bedbugs started their lives as batbugs living on the roof of caves and drinking the blood of bats as they slept. Humans seek shelter in the caves only to find that batbugs like them as well. People sleep deeper than bats and don't eat bugs, so the bedbug changed hosts. 1950s happen and bedbugs are just as common as ever. DDT, the pesticide, wipes out bedbugs in the civilized world but has a host of expected problems as a deadly pesticide and stops being used as the cheap cure for bedbugs. 2000s happen and folks from the corners of the world that still have bedbugs travel to the world that had been rid of the bugs for generations, and bam, it's the bedbug explosion from a few years back. Without a cheap pesticide cure, poor people provide a host again for a permanent settlement of bedbugs. That's a bedbug for you. Everything's a joke. Package thieves. I was praying every day throughout the Christmas season for my packages not to get stolen. I hate those ducking thieves. I started using Amazon Locker for the first time once it started to close to the Christmas season. Well, for the stuff that would fit. I'm still using it now. It's a great perk. My apartments have a package locker system for any carrier to use. It's great until FedEx opts not to use it, leaves a $900 phone at the front door of my apartment, and it gets jacked. Drivers that refuse to lower their high beams at night or to use signal lights. Or that one jackass on the road who has a headlight out, so instead of replacing it he just keeps his high beams on. You're not fooling anyone, dude. I always felt like cops would be less likely to get if you just rolled with one light. That high beam can be straight up dangerous. Cheap ass paper stickers on new products that are impossible to peel off. Social media influencers. Truck nuts. My friend has truck nuts on his Honda Insight. Your friend is an anarchist. People clip them and he just hangs a new pair. Sushi at gas stations. Bank transaction fees. Mosquitoes. Why can't they be an integral part of the food chain without the whole blood-sucking deal? God, because duck you. That's why. Real mature God, real mature. Measles shouldn't exist anymore. Then anti-vaxxers did their thing. That and a whole host of easily vaccinated diseases. I just had a son 5 months ago, and the fact that whooping cough is a thing I have to worry very seriously about is a load of bullshit. I get the feeling that a lot of people think diseases like whooping cough, measles, and mumps aren't serious illnesses because of their funny sounding names. They don't realize that they can be very painful, occasionally fatal, and can lead to lifelong medical problems or disfigurement. The worst part is the disease was declared eliminated in the US in 2000. Actually, I take that back. While measles is horrible, the other diseases that anti-vaxxers are bringing back into communities are far worse. There should be consequences for not vaccinating, but constitutionally I don't know what those would be. I think about it from time to time. That lever Kronk pulls when Isma tells him to pull the lever. Why did they even have that lever? Depression. Flat earthers. I remember around 07 I stumbled on a flat earther site and it seemed like it was being done as obvious satire. The idea that there's a huge ice wall encircling our planet that is filled with the shadow government just seemed patently ridiculous. Now that shit's everywhere. Felt exactly the same. Thought it was just comedy or satire at first. Then people started taking it seriously. Things tend to go downhill pretty quickly if people start taking things serious. The Westboro Baptist Church. Basically a hate group. Side note, churches who actively participate in real estate and buying jets for their leaders should definitely be taxed on those things. The small one building church is generally fine being untaxed, but people like Joel Osteen have twisted it for their own good and riches. Rankly incompetent middle management. Only thing worse is rankly incompetent upper management. Pretty much anything Gwyneth Paltrow sells on her website. The secret cure to all illnesses is shoving various rocks up your kitten. The Last Airbender movie. Logan Paul. The guy below you already said cockroaches. He was seated next to my table at a very popular and good restaurant in LA, which is reasonably priced for the value, location and service, which he later made fun of for their prices and ambience. It was too fancy and expensive. He was on a date with what I assumed to be an influencer. Their conversation was incredibly awkward as each person could really only speak about themselves, which resulted in many long periods of silence. They did find common ground on making fun of the restaurant and mutual friends. They were both on their phones frequently as well.